Good day, and welcome to, I guess, a World of Warcraft video. Well, a World of Warcraft video and a video about me. So, I've never done a subscriber special video. I've never done a video for 100 subs or 2,000 subs or 1,000 subs or any kind of subs, basically. So, I really kind of want to talk about myself and why I started playing World of Warcraft, and a little bit about me, just so you can get to know me. If you're not interested in me or interested in why I started playing World of Warcraft, then feel free to switch off the video. In terms of my journey with World of Warcraft, I think you'll understand a bit better if you understand me and who I am. So for anyone who doesn't know my name, because I don't think I mention my name a lot, I'm the WoW casual, but I'm actually Cole. My name is Cole. I was not named after anyone specifically, apparently, according to my family, but you never know with these things. So my name is Cole. I'm from South Africa. My dad is originally from England, actually, and my mom, her family descend from Scotland, so a little bit of European heritage on that side, I guess. People who are from South Africa will recognize my accent very, very, very quickly, which is fine. People who aren't from South Africa may think I have a bit of a weird accent. I speak 3 different languages, so I speak a bit of German, I speak a bit of English, and I speak a little bit of a language we call here Zulu. I also speak Afrikaans, which is like a very, very terrible version of Dutch. But anyway, so the thing is, I am 30. So by internet years, I am ancient, very, very, very old, like very, very old, apparently. I have a lovely son who is like my absolute pride and joy. He is almost 2 years old. He turns 2 in June of 2025, so at the time of doing this video. And he is probably the coolest thing that I've ever done besides marrying my wife. So it's like pretty even on the playing field of my life. He is absolutely amazing. I love him so much, and I love my wife so much. And yeah, he is my first child, my only child currently as of this video. And honestly, being a dad is pretty nuts. So I think right now I'm just learning as I go along. So that, I guess, is my very, very brief biography. I'm an accountant by trade. Well, I guess financial manager, director, whatever you want to call it. I don't rely on YouTube for my money. YouTube is a hobby for me, and I just enjoy doing it. It's why the quality of my videos is so terrible, because I literally just like doing videos on topics that I myself am either researching or trying to learn about. So it's some of the reasons why my videos are not the highest quality. But I enjoy doing YouTube because if I can help just 1 or 2 people with something, then generally I consider that a success. It's also a way for me to interact, I guess, with people who maybe have the same hobbies as me, which is also something I kind of enjoy doing as well. So yeah, I think overall that kind of sums it up. Yeah, so basically, now that you know maybe a little bit about me, I play games a lot. I don't play them so much now since I've become a dad and got a job and do all those kind of things. But like any gamer, I find time for my hobby. I find time for my hobby. I enjoy it. It is awesome to play games. I love games, all types of games. Anything ranging from before I used to play NBA 2K. So I've played NBA 2K, EA, FIFA, JRPGs, like all the Final Fantasies I've played. I've played Chrono Trigger. I've played Dragon Age Origins, I think 1800 times. Baldur's Gate 1, 2, 3. I've done the whole charade of being an RPG nut, then being super into Civilization, then being super into Warhammer 40k, well, not 40k, sorry, Total War. So I mean, I have played tons of games. I play tons of games. I even have another channel where I play a whole bunch of roguelikes and solo play games and things. Simulators, Stardew Valley, tons of things. I just love playing games. Nowadays, I play a lot of World of Warcraft. I've always played a lot of World of Warcraft. It started a very, very long time ago, sure as everyone knows, with yourselves. But when I was a kid, when I was very young, which I guess by internet standards would need to be like 4, but in real life, when I was around about 6 or 7, World of Warcraft 2 came out, and it was, for me, massive at the time because I had never played an RTS of any kind, or any kind of just like game that required me to actively do stuff. I think the closest I got was playing The Settlers, and if anyone's played that game, they'll know what that's like. So I had never played like real PC games. I played like Solitaire or your pinball machine games, you know, anything like that. I'd never played a real game, and I went to a video store one day. Yeah, we had those back in the day, and I played, or I purchased Tides of Vengeance, I think it was Warcraft 2 Tides of Vengeance, and I'd never played Warcraft, so I just liked it because of the pirates. I like pirates, and yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I'll play this game, and you know, I'll have a good time, and yeah, just kind of see what happens. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, just see what happens, give it a try, and hopefully it'll be a cool game. And I loved it. It was one of my favorite games of all time. But my parents at that stage couldn't really afford to buy more games for me. And weirdly enough, I had to somehow, which tended to happen a lot, I think, like back in the day. I don't know, maybe nowadays it's not so common, but you used to buy a game and then like 6 months later, the next one would come out because like you somehow bought a game at the back end of a cycle or something. But so I played Warcraft 2, and almost immediately Warcraft 3 came out, and I was like, please, mom and dad, you have to get this for me. And my parents just weren't really in the position to buy me video games at that stage. They were very young. They had me very young, and they were young. They were growing. You know, they were themselves growing. We had one computer. It was in their room. It was a it was like a old, I think an old Mac. It was one of those all-in-one kind of CRT monitor, just, you know, crazy style computers, just like very old computers, like one of the original ones. And so they just couldn't really buy me games. So what ended up happening is I went to my friend's house. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, we're still good friends. He's one of my closest friends. And he and his brother had swankier PCs. Their parents were a little bit swankier than mine. I think their dad was a lawyer or something. And well, he did a lot of stuff, but I think he was a lawyer by trade. And basically they had Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne. And I absolutely was thrilled. Well, they had Warcraft 3 because Frozen Throne hadn't come out yet. And I was thrilled. We spent all weekend playing it. We played the campaigns. We played everything like back to back to back. We just had like the best time. And it was like incredible. I'll never forget playing Warcraft 3. And then as it evolved, as you know, the DLC came out, and then eventually obviously all the modded maps and everything came out. And, you know, it was a great time in my life. Like, I grew to love World of Warcraft 3, I think, more than any other PC game ever, barring World of Warcraft, and we'll talk about that now. But so when World of Warcraft was announced, it was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the coolest thing ever. The problem is again, my parents were just in a different space, and subscriptions for games were very hard to convince your parents to, you know, partake in. Like, it just wasn't something, at least back then, that was usual. Not a lot of people paid for games. And so it was hard. Like, it was hard to convince my parents to part with money every month for me to play a game. So World of Warcraft, especially vanilla World of Warcraft, kind of flew by me. I kept up to date with it. I read everything I could. We used to have a magazine in my country called NAG, New Age Gaming, which I think was just a riff, on some other magazines, gaming magazines that had come out. I don't know if anyone else knows of NAG. But yeah, like I missed out on the vanilla World of Warcraft experience. So for me, when we talk about vanilla WoW and that, I never really truly experienced vanilla WoW. I'll talk about that just now, but I never experienced it live. I never experienced the live World of Warcraft, and obviously, probably not supposed to talk about these things, but whenever you can't have something, especially on the internet, you tend to find a pirated source. So that's how I discovered at that time private servers. And eventually, it was around about near the end of vanilla, me and my friend, the one who had showed me Warcraft 3, we managed to get onto a private server, because even him, with his parents having a little bit more money in that, they still weren't keen. Like, I think very few people nowadays, it's very strange because I think everything's subscription based. But back then, convincing your parents to part with a sum of money every month for a video game is literally highly irregular. Like, it was, people looked at you funny. Like, oh, your son plays World of Warcraft, isn't that game? And there were a whole bunch of like rumors and things going around that I think weren't helping. A lot of parents were worried that their kids were going to end up, like super like funky and strange. I know there were all types of stories about kids stabbing their parents because they couldn't play World of Warcraft, and some of it's true, but I mean, a lot of the times it wasn't. At least, I mean, I don't think I would have ever stabbed my parents. But so we played private servers. Private servers are never really the same as the real thing. People who've played private servers will be able to tell you that. I think, obviously, a lot of the private servers now, you find most times are trying to replicate eras in World of Warcraft. I know there's a lot of modded private servers now. Back in the day, you used to just basically have accelerated EXP rates, and certain quests and bugs were never fixed, so things were super difficult. And yeah, like, it was never the real thing, and you didn't have the community. I think that's the thing that a lot of people, at least, for me personally, is the one thing you never really got on a private server, was you never got that community. You never got that, like, wow, this is the World of Warcraft community, the vanilla community, the amazing vanilla community. So we played private servers. We played private servers for a lot, pretty much all the way into TBC. And around TBC, he managed to convince his parents to let him buy it with his brother, and I piggybacked. So we used to take turns, literally playing the same 5, like every 5 quests we would take turns. So you would do 5 quests, and then I would log into my character and I would do the same 5 quests, because we're the same race and same area and same level. And we did that for hours. Like, we straight up did that for literal hours, working our way through the whole of TBC. And by the time TBC was kind of done and we were entering into the raiding scene, I went to high school. And basically, well, I finished primary school, something like that. But yeah, so, like, I've always played World of Warcraft, but I never had my own World of Warcraft account, weirdly enough, until the end of high school, because I went to boarding school. And I was at my boarding school. There's a very, very prestigious boarding school in my country called Michael House. It's a private school. It's a very prestigious school. I went there on a scholarship and a bursary, so I didn't actually have money, but I went to one of the most expensive schools in the country, which was always very interesting, because my parents, when they bought my uniform, they bought secondhand uniform, and they bought uniform that was secondhand and like 3 sizes too big, so that it would fit me as I grew. So it was very funny in grade 8 having not only secondhand clothes compared to everyone else, but having clothes that were about 4 sizes too big, which was always cool. But yeah, the thing is like, Honestly, like all things considered, honestly, uh, I didn't play World of Warcraft for a while. I kept up with it, and I loved the scene and everything. I played. There was a guy in our school, and this was the craziest thing to me at the time, who managed to make a private server literally in our school, which I thought was insane. Somehow, off our school network, he made a private server, and we played on that. It was literally our school's private server. It was the most insane thing ever. But beyond that, I didn't play much. Like I played a bit of played Wrath of Lich King that way, essentially, and then Cataclysm came out near the end of my high school experience, and yeah, I played that a bit on the private server. Unfortunately, then my family went through a bit of a rough time. My family went through a bit of a rough time the whole of my high school experience, but my parents couldn't afford to send me to Varsity. They couldn't afford to send me for any kind of learning or studies or anything like that. My parents were both out of a job. And so, yeah, things were tough. So what I did was I took a job. That was an internship plus a job. So basically, they would pay me like a very small amount. It's like barely minimum wage. But they would pay me, sorry. And then what they would do is they would pay for my studies as well. So I essentially worked for them for like a ridiculously nominal fee. I was paid, I don't know, in dollars, it would be like $80 a month, $100 a month, something like that, like $80 a month. And but they would pay, well, I would then pay out of that my varsity fees and then give my parents money, and that was it. So that was everything I had. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough. And because of that, I couldn't afford World of Warcraft. But my friend, my wealthy friend, who, as I say, is a very good friend of mine, he stuck by me, and he actually did me the favor of paying my subscription during those years, which was awesome of him and something I'm always really thankful for and super duper happy for with him. Like I'll never forget it. So that was a great time. And I started playing at the back end of Cataclysm, but I mainly played Pandaria. Like Pandaria was my like really big foray into doing raids and things on like a live server, and it was an amazing experience. Which weirdly enough makes technically Warlords of Draenor one of my favorite experiences ever, because Warlords of Draenor was actually the first time I started a live expansion with other players. So Warlords of Draenor, for a lot of people, is considered widely one of the worst expansions of all time, and for me, it is by far and away the best expansion of all time, because it is the first time I ever played live World of Warcraft, not private servers with like a couple hundred people, live World of Warcraft, real World of Warcraft with players, enjoying myself, and it was an absolute blast. I had the best time ever. Like I said, it is one of my favorite expansions of all time. It is an incredibly biased opinion, but I had an absolute blast. I don't think I had like more fun ever in the history of World of Warcraft with any expansion, because it was just like all new to me. Playing with my friends, playing live, doing raids, it was awesome. But throughout my life and throughout everything that kind of happened, and all the jobs and the this and the that, I really think World of Warcraft was just like a consistent thing that I enjoyed doing. I think it's weird because it's like I never played the real World of Warcraft until so late, but yet somehow I have this attachment to retail World of Warcraft. Like I was there, but I wasn't there. I was there looking through the glass window, enjoying the game, but not playing the game, as some people would probably say. Like, oh, you didn't play the real World of Warcraft. But man, it was amazing. When I played that expansion for the first time, I was like, this is the greatest game of all time. Like, this is what I've been missing. And that was when the player base was dropping like flies and everyone was having a terrible time. And I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest expansion of all time. People would be like, man, this sucked. Like in trade chat, they'd be like, there's nothing for me to do. I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's so much for me to do. All the quests work. This is happening. Wow, there's an actual raid with people. Like doing it on LFR, normal, heroic. I'm like, this is the best time of my life. So it's yeah, it's interesting because I think like it shows a bit of perspective, I guess. Like for some people, they'll be more attached to even bad things, but just because it's like a good time. But yeah, no. So I had a great time. Like I said, I loved Warlords of Draenor. I've loved Retail WoW ever since. Even the bad expansions like BFA, where I'll be honest, I wasn't super duper keen. Like I wasn't playing it as much as I probably play it now, but I was still having a good time. Like I was still enjoying myself. Like I like World of Warcraft. I love the lore, I love the races, I love the characters, I love the classes, I love the aesthetic. Like I just like everything about it. It's not anything to do sometimes with game quality. Like I will admit there are definitely spots where World of Warcraft is weaker than other games, or at certain times itself. Like it definitely insists upon itself, as Peter Griffin would say. But I've always loved this game. I've just always, something about it's always brought me back. And I don't think it's just because I played it, or because I'm addicted. I just think it's just a feeling in it that like it's comfort. Yes, of course, it's always the comfort factor. It brings back, it harkens memories from different times. But it's weird because for me in my life, like now is technically the best time of my life. Nostalgia doesn't ring so true for me. Like I mentioned, unfortunately my family and we went through a lot of difficult times when I was younger, and World of Warcraft wasn't like even a safe space for my family or anything. A lot of the times it was just a lot of pressure for me to try and pay a subscription, especially like even when I started earning a little bit more money. Like it was always a difficult task. But I don't know, like I think for me it's just everything about it resonates with me in a different way. And look, the game goes through its ups and downs. Everything goes through its ups and downs. And I've played now Final Fantasy. I've played Guild Wars Online. I love that game. Guild Wars Online 2. Guild Wars 2. That was great. Like, every MMO is different. And, I don't want to say like, that my experience with World of Warcraft is something that can't be replicated. I had an amazing time in Final Fantasy with a friend of mine. I had an amazing time in Guild Wars with a friend of mine. Like I've had amazing times in games with friends, doing things, having fun adventures. Like where your friends are, for me, is always going to be where you're going to have the most fun with an MMO. But in World of Warcraft, I can play solo. I play it a lot solo now. I don't have a guild. I play it a lot solo because my friends don't have time, or they don't fit. Like we don't fit in each other's schedules so much anymore, which is always kind of the saddest part of growing up. But even as a dad, I'm like, I really like World of Warcraft. I enjoy World of Warcraft. Look, I think for me, one thing that always brings me back, and especially with retail, is that it's just not too hard to get back into it. It's the rhythm and rhyme of it. Yes, it can be boring sometimes, and I'm gonna admit that obviously I'm talking as a casual player. Like I know I get comments all the time, how can you say that you're a casual player when you do heroic raids or this? I am a casual player. I am very casual. I think you don't understand how casual like I am with World of Warcraft. I play like 6-8 hours a week if I can. But for me, like, to be honest with you, World of Warcraft is just a part of me that I enjoy. Whether it's the memories, whether it's the friends I made, whether it's just the fantasy that I enjoy. Like I say, I love the lore. I love all those things. I read a lot of Tolkien. I know it's not exactly like that, but I mean, I do just like the vibes. I like the way the goblins are. I like the way everything is. So I don't know. It's something about it that just makes me keep coming back. But I think for me, like I say, the biggest thing is just it's a rhythm. It's like a part of me that just feels very comforting to get back home from work, and every couple of days I get to sit down and I get to share this experience with myself even. And I think the YouTube channel has made it really fun for me to have another way of sharing my World of Warcraft experience. Is it a great experience? No, it's not a great experience. I'm not a great player. I make mistakes all the time. But it's an experience I get to share. And I get one comment every now and then that goes like, hey man, I was really struggling with that. Thank you for helping. Hey man, this was really difficult for me. I'm glad you had difficulties too. Thanks for helping me. Or even, hey, I disagree with your opinion. Here's my thoughts. And I go like, wow, that's actually really true. Or tips. Hey, do this with your macros. Like, it's so, for me, such a great way to interact. And yeah, maybe because my friends have disappeared as we get older, or just don't play World of Warcraft anymore, or move countries. Like, I have a great friend who was an absolute champion at MMOs, but he went to a different country. Our time zones don't sync up. I think, yeah, it's just great to interact with people about the game. And sometimes I don't negatively review the game. I know a lot of people will say to me, why aren't you more negative about these things, or why don't you give this opinion? Listen, if I really start to hate World of Warcraft, I will probably just stop playing it. Like I said, I don't depend on this channel for money. I don't need it to live. I don't have to have World of Warcraft. If I hated the game like some people do, or fall out of love, I just stop playing, or I stop playing less, or I go play something else for a bit. Like, it's that simple for me. I don't feel like I have to come online, make a complaint to a whole bunch of people a lot. I do it sometimes, but it's more to raise, I guess, interesting conversation points that I might be interested in hearing what people think. Like when I spoke about Heroic Gear, and then a lot of people were saying, no, actually they think it's great. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. You know, like, I think for me, that's really maybe the closest I'll get. But yeah, this video was really silly, but it is something I just felt like doing. I don't talk a lot about myself at all, which is exactly how I like it, because honestly, I am very boring. I am an accountant, financial guy thing. I do numbers. I do numbers and make money. It's not exciting, and it's even more boring than my videos. So yeah, if you find my videos boring, which some people do, then very good luck, because my job is even worse. So, but yeah, I just wanted to make this video. What I'd love to hear is your guys' experience. What got you into World of Warcraft? You know, why do you play World of Warcraft? Do you enjoy World of Warcraft? Do you enjoy MMOs in general? Like, what makes you have the best time in a game, doing things, enjoying things? Like, I think, yeah, I don't know. Just, I'd love to hear it out. So let me know. And yeah, that's really it from me. But I hope you enjoyed listening as much as I enjoyed talking, because that was yeah, a lot of waffle. But thanks for watching. Bye.